Hello and welcome back to Growler Model Painting. This is video number 5 in my series Become a Better Hobbyist, and I know last video I said that this one would be about how to use green stuff. However, rather embarrassingly, we've run out of green stuff in the studio, so we're going to temporarily substitute this video in, and it's going to be how to pin models. So this is really quite a common technique used in the hobby, but some people don't know how to do it. It's really especially useful when you've created custom bases and you want to stick your model on bits of cork, but obviously you want them to be secure as well, so you can actually pin them through the pieces of cork to the plastic underneath. So let's get started with this process. The first thing we need to decide is where the model is going to be placed on the base, and then we need to drill out temporary holes in his feet just to make sure we know where we're putting them. So I've already went ahead and done this. I've on the base he's going to stand on these two pieces of cork like so, and before the video I've drilled out a couple of holes in his feet just to mark out where he's actually going to stand on the base. So one of the holes is in the middle of the foot there, and the other one is on his toe there. So they're just really small temporary holes just to mark where he's going to stand, and we can start drilling them through. So to do this, I'm going to use a hobby drill, hand operated. So the key to doing this is you don't have to drill down too far. So when we're drilling, we just want to really carefully go just in to the hole. So if we go too far, we will come out the other side. So just very carefully drill a small hole until you're happy that you could put a piece of metal in there. So I'm just going to do that on both feet very carefully. So hopefully you can see there, I've just finished drilling out the two holes where he's going to be put on the base. So it doesn't actually matter that much if you do make a mistake and go through the other end of the foot. You can just use a bit of green stuff or liquid green stuff depending on how severe the damage is. So it's not a big deal if you do make that mistake, but with time you won't make that mistake. So we can go ahead and move on to the next step now them holes are drilled. Okay, for the next step we're going to need some wire cutters. I wouldn't recommend using your plastic Citadel clippers, is cutting through metal will blunt them down, and it's a bit of a waste of money if you use an expensive pair of clippers to be cutting metal and damaging them. So there's many different types of metal you can use, but I actually use paper clips because everyone has them and they're really easy to come by, they're really cheap, and the metal is strong enough for what you need it to do. So all we have to do is just bend the paper clip out so it's straight, and this straight edge here is the one we're going to use. So all we have to do is clip that out. Obviously we'll have to do this twice because we need a piece of metal for each foot. So we'll just clip this straight piece of metal here and do that twice so we can get two pieces like that. Okay, so now we have the two pieces of metal. It doesn't matter if they're not the same size, they'll be clipped down later anyway. We're going to take some super glue, so it can just be any type of super glue, and we need to glue these into the holes we made on his feet. So the easiest way to do this is to apply the glue to the rod rather than the hole. So just a little bit of glue, you don't need too much super glue. Just apply that to the end of the rod and just insert it in one of the holes you've created. And if you're using the same kind of drill bit as me, which is just the kind of standard drill bit you'd get, the paper clip should fit in just nicely. Just make sure it's nice and straight and let that glue set. Okay, so my metal rods are set into the feet now, so we can begin actually pinning them to the base. So as I said before, you decide how you want to pin them onto your base, and then you can go ahead and make the markings. So I'm gonna have him standing like this. So what we need to do is make some holes to show where he's going to stand on the base, because that's where the pins are going to go through. So one of my pins is going to go through this section here, and one of them is going to go through here. So what we need to do is use the same drill and drill through these markings we've made on the base by putting the pin on it like that, and then we can start pushing them through. So you can see there I've made my 2 marker holes. One of them's there and the other one's there. So these are for the pins to go through, and all we need to do now is continue to drill through these holes. So just keeping the base nice and steady, we can just go straight down all the way through whatever material you've used, whether it be cork or polystyrene, and should come out the other end. Just remove the drill. So we went all the way down through and came out the other end of the base there. So we need to do that for both holes, and then once you've actually drilled the hole, just put your drill through it and pull it back out, and this will remove, it'll make the passage clear for the pin to travel through. Okay, so now them holes are clear, we need to insert the pins into the holes. So these should be lined up perfectly, and we can slot them in there like that, and then we can push the base up to the model. So as you can see there, the pins have went right through and came out the other side, and the model's quite nicely, strongly on the base there. So the only thing left to do is to remove the excess pins. However, as this model isn't painted yet, I'm just going to leave the pins in for now until he's painted, and then when the model's ready to go on his base and he's finished, you apply a little bit of super glue to the top, to the bottom of his feet, sorry, the top of the pin, and push down into the base like we did before, and then once that's set, you can trim off the excess wire with the wire cutters, and then you should firmly be in the base and fully painted and ready for the tabletop game. So thanks for watching, and the next video in the series will hopefully be how to use green stuff, and that'll be episode 6 in the series. So looking forward to doing that for you. And I just want to mention, if you're interested in setting up a project with us here at the studio, all you have to do is leave a comment, or you can contact us through the email. So it's Growler Model Painting at gmail.com, so Google Mail. So that's if you want to set up any projects with us here at the studio. And once again, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope it's been helpful, and good luck with your painting and modelling, and thanks for watching.